Tim Brando along with Spencer Tillman from our College Football Today studios here exclusively for CBSSports.com. Georgia's excessive celebration penalty last week against Florida has focused a lot of criticism on Mark Richt. During halftime, Richt admitted that he told his players he would have been disappointed if they didn't draw such a penalty. On Monday, he apologized to SEC Commissioner Mike Slive, stating he was simply trying to pump some energy into his team. No sanctions are planned. Spencer, the tactics seem to have motivated Georgia, but did their coach step over the line?
You know what? I think you have to take it in this context. I mean, he knew coming in that his ball club was shorthanded. They didn't have enough talent. Down to one singular back, Marino, a freshman. He named him the captain. He knew that they have to bring everything they possibly could to steal a win from a much more talented ball club. I found myself identifying with him in a sense, almost rooting for him as it happened. And then when we heard him explain it in the end, it was weird. It was kind of like that movie, The Brave One, with Jodie Foster. You know what she was doing was wrong, but you found yourself in there rooting for her, you know?
The thing that I can't get rid of here is it's a collegiate atmosphere, and understanding the temperament of the modern-day internet athlete is what the coaching profession is really all about. One of the greatest shots in that entire scene was on Florida's sideline afterwards as Urban Meyer was trying to figure out what's going on over there. I think he thought maybe there was a fight breaking out, and then once he realized it, he said, all right, everybody, let's start jumping up. Let's get our guys pumped up. And both coaches and both teams really handled it properly.
That's right. And you know, if you know the background, first of all, Coach Myers is a psychology major, so he understands the mindset of an 18, a 19, 20-year-old. Oh, so you're matching us, or you're trying to call us out. All right, let's respond in like kind. So that's what you saw. This was a brilliant chess game going on in real time right before our eyes. It was outstanding.
There is a media contingent in this country that loves to take situations like that and turn it and spin it into Florida International Miami of a year ago. And I do allow for the fact that it could have gone wrong. Had there been a little too much celebration, had there been maybe some issues with some Florida players involved that were caught up in the Georgia penalty that was taking place, it might have gone down a slippery slope. But because it didn't, I think to use the lack of dignity or integrity with Mark Richt's name in the same phrase, that's a little over the top.
I think anybody that has that opinion is assuming the worst about these kids. Trenton Sturdivant, the offensive guard, the guy number 77 that was kind of doing a little Irish jig back there, but he was also trying to restrain his guys. It tells me a couple of things. First of all, the coach had talked about this in advance. These players were warned. They knew that they were supposed to celebrate, but don't let it get out of hand. This was not going to turn into a melee on the football field. So again, I think the fact that it was premeditated, not cheering on coach, not saying it was the best thing to do, but at the end of the day, he certainly made provisions for his guys by giving them a warning ahead of time.
At a certain point, I think you've got to take into consideration the character of the people involved. And Mark Richt, I mean, this was such a departure from what he is, one of the most conservative. And frankly, when you see what his storyline is like in the offseason, what he does, his charitable work, it's pretty incredible. Plus, he's a man of tremendous spiritual passion. This was so outside the box for him. You've got to give him a check mark.
I think what I hear you saying is here's a guy that was able, because of his character, to draw on the equity of that character and get a pass in the end. And that's exactly what happened.
All right. And remember, we'll be with you Saturday afternoons throughout the season on the College Football Today.